Hey, what's up, everyone? What's up, everyone? You know what I got to do first? Got to make sure all the channels working. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure y'all are able to see and hear as well. Okay, so we got LinkedIn working properly. We got Instagram looking good. We got Facebook. Okay, we good. We good. Now, welcome to this live. This is a special live because normally, you know, we like to give gems, but also we like to bring people that just have been through the track that you wanted to go through or you want to go through, that's been successful, has had some recent success, and is here to give you the gems on how you can power your way through as well. So today, we're gonna give it up for a brother who came from QA to AWS Cloud Support. And really today is about, where do I start, right? That's the question that keeps, so many people stuck. You got fear, confusion, anxiety. It really makes your past feel impossible. But today we're gonna break through with my boy. We're going to do some in just a few seconds. He's found success, and this guy has really pointed a lot of people in the right direction to be able to level up just like he did. So I want y'all to give a huge hand. I want to see the hand claps in the chat and give it up for this gentleman who went from QA to cloud support engineer with AWS, just landed that huge gig. Give it up for Jeremy Smith. What's up, big dog? Thank you for joining us.
What's going on, brothers, man? I appreciate you for letting me come on here and be able to share my journey, man. I'm hoping I could give a lot of people some guidance, a lot of people some gems that they could take and run with it. So, yeah, man, appreciate you for having me.
Absolutely. This is what we're here for. So get your notepads out, get your notes on your iPhone out. Make sure y'all take notes. Make sure you come back and look at this recording, all of that good stuff. And I want to make sure y'all can hear and see as well. Put the LUs in the chat. Okay, I see the hand claps already. Okay. Hand claps mean they hear us. Okay. Congrats. So, we got everybody in here congratulating you, man, already. So we're going to jump into the meat and potatoes, man. You ready? You cool with that?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. I'm excited.
All right. Well, look, tell us a little bit about your background. What were you doing before this AWS Cloud Support role?
All right, man. I'm going to try to keep it nice and sweet for y'all, man. So what's going on, everybody? My name is Jeremy. I did not come through the typical traditional route, right? You hear a lot of success stories of people coming from non-technical backgrounds where you're looking at one. So I did go to college. However, I went to school for something totally different. It was exercise science. I was a collegiate athlete. So I pretty much just stuck with what I knew. I've always liked technology, but I just never really thought about making a career out of it. So I started out my professional career as a personal trainer, actually. And I'm out here located in Dallas right now. And we were talking before the stream, and that's actually the reason why I came out to Dallas, was just more opportunities. I'm from a small town where, if you blink when you're driving through, you might miss it. So, I was doing personal training for some time, for about 2 years. Mm-hmm. And, personal training, it requires you to have, some soft skills, right? You got to be able to speak to people, be able to sell yourself, be able to give people some value too, right? Because if people are going to spend a lot of money training with you, you better be able to provide some value, or you can lose them quick, right? But the thing about it was, I was good at it. I loved helping people. I love helping people get results. And there's one thing about me, is I love to teach, right? Mm-hmm. And so, it's day in and day out. You spend a lot of time at the gym from sun up to sundown, and it's all cool helping people out, but you do a lot of pouring. You don't really get a lot poured back into you, so it can be exhausting at times. And so I start looking for ways out. I feel like I'm wasting my my talent, my creativity. Not to say that, not helping people is great, because I loved it, but I just felt like there was just much more, right? And then I'm training these clients at this big box gym, and it was like $110 to train with me per session, and they was buying weeks in advance. And so I started looking at my clients like, yo, how are y'all affording all this training? That's like 2,900 a month to train with me for 5 days. I'm like, I start asking, all I heard was IT, real estate, entrepreneurship, but I heard a lot of IT. I had a lot of clients in IT. And so I just started chopping it up with them, start asking them about, how they came up, some of the things that they do. Because they would come work out with me in the middle of the day. I'm like, dang, don't y'all got work?
You
So
supposed to be doing something.
so
Yeah.
I'm seeing the freedom. I'm seeing the flexibility that these people have, and also dispensable income to worry about their health, take care of important things like that. So I'm like, I want some of that. I want to, I want to be a part of that. So I started researching into some ways and into how to get into IT. And originally, I started learning data analytics, but uh,
Mm.
data analytics is not that exciting, and I didn't really stick with it. I took like a Google course, but man, it didn't pique my interest, because in my mind, I've always been handy. I want to build stuff. I want to tinker with stuff. I want to solve, not to say that data analytics don't get technical, but I want to build like things. I want to code. Most people when they're trying to get into tech, they run away from that. No, I'm trying to code. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny because I saw a video with Cyrus, and if y'all know who Cyrus is, he has the Tech is the New Black channel, and he was interviewing some people who were talking about getting into tech because that was his thing, and there were some people talking about QA, and I was like, okay, well, let me see what that's about, because me personally, just the kind of person I am, I'm always gonna go do research before I just jump in, right? So I did my research on the boot camp that he was talking about, and I started reaching out to people who went through it, but not only just went through it, but people who went through it and got a job. Those are the ones that I wanted to talk to, because I wanted to see, hey, what are some things that you were doing when you were in the boot camp? What were what were some of the techniques that you was using to get a job? And so I took that route, and that's how I got my foot in the door into tech. So I've been a QA for 2 years now. So it was never the end goal for me though. Like I always saw QA as the vehicle to get to where I wanted to be. I just needed to do it right now. You know what I'm saying? Because coding
Mm.
was gonna take some time. So I'm like, okay, let me just get my foot in the door, and then I'm gonna maneuver from there, right? Let me get some under my belt, and I'm gonna just go ahead and go from there. And so it was either gonna be QA automation or it was gonna be DevOps. And so I just had to start doing some more research into DevOps. And funny enough, here comes Cyrus again. He had an interview with you. It was the interview with you when you shared your story, because I was like, well, DevOps is another way to go through to get another, like a path, I guess. And then I look, you say cloud, and I'm like, cloud, like what is cloud? I started doing research on the cloud. I'm like, okay, cloud and DevOps they're very close. Like they start overlapping. I'm like, okay, so if I can go this, I can learn that. So I watched your entire video with Cyrus, and after that, I had like 2 cloud DevOps boot camps. It was Level Up in Tech, and it was another one. And I was, kind of on the fence about either one. But then I was just like, okay, what am I looking for personally? Right?
Mm.
What do I need to have to help me land a job? What's going to set me up for success? And so what I did was I got on the phone with both consultants from both parties. And so I heard what Level Up in Tech had to offer, and I liked what I heard more so here. And then I got to speak with you personally, and I've never, you don't hear that. Like you don't get on the phone or get on a call with the founder of a boot camp, because like they just see you as another number. But I was like, oh, this is different. Like, you're a personable guy, and it seems like, you actually care about, whether people come in and they have a great experience, and then, they see success on the other side. And so that ultimately
Mm.
led me to choose, Level Up in Tech. Shout out Level Up in Tech. Yes, sir. Go
Shout out.
ahead. But yeah, man. So that's what I've been up to. That's what I've been up to for the past 2 years. And, for the past 10 months, we've been going through it, man. We've been grinding, trying to make
Good.
it happen. And yes,
Get
sir.
paid off, man. And the funny thing is when you mention like small town, like if you blink, you miss it. That's
Yeah.
exactly where I'm from, right? Rural Virginia, small town called Palmyra, Virginia. You blink, we only have a traffic light. We probably got one
Ah,
traffic light, just one,
yeah.
right?
No Walmart.
And
No
we only got
Walmart.
Walmart. That's the crazy
Yeah.
thing. It's crazy thing. We only got Walmart, man. But it's just one of those things where it's similar story, man. Like, you see what people are making, and you like, how can you like how much? I'm in the bank. I'm like, yo, what you doing? Because your checks is like $4,000 every 2 weeks, bro.
Yeah.
And they like IT, and I'm like, hold up, now you gotta straighten up in my seat now. Do my little, I'm like, hold up, IT. So it's funny because you decided, hey, this was the role for me. I'm moving out. I got to go where the opportunity is. And it wasn't even for tech, but God led you there just so you can hear about the opportunities that he knew you wanted anyway.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
and that's the fantastic part, man. But as you was doing it and as you got into even working in cloud, like what were the biggest fears and doubts that you had when you was trying to make the switch?
So I'm gonna be honest, brothers. I didn't really have any because I've been here before, and so I would say that my first experience with making the career switch, that was probably a little bit more scary because the circumstances was different. But
Right.
I've already made it happen once. I've seen other people make it happen once. I'm like, there's no reason I can't do it again. Praise God. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So I'll be honest. I really didn't have any fears going in. I just saw it as another stepping stone to where I was trying to get. Because I told you, QA was never the end goal.
Yeah, no, I absolutely understand that. And you know why I understand it now? Because I'm looking at it, and you said you were from you're got a sports background. You was an athlete.
Yeah.
Your athletes just think different. Like, yeah, yo, listen, I'm just being super transparent. Like
Yeah.
all the athletes that have came through the program have been super successful because y'all understand that it takes endurance.
Mm.
You are disciplined in getting up and doing something every single day without seeing the immediate result, but know it's compounding interest. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, like when you train and you say, "Yo, I want to drop 10 pounds for such and such," right? I'm going somewhere or whatever the case.
Mm.
After, a couple of days, you probably ain't dropping that weight the way, just it's just the journey. Like,
Yeah.
okay, in the next 4 weeks, or the next 8 weeks, I'll probably drop that 10 pounds safely the way I want. But I know after the first week, I
Yeah.
shouldn't be looking for my results, right? So you discipline and getting up and doing what you're supposed to do every single day. So what sport were you doing, if you don't mind me asking, or what
Oh
type
yeah,
of
I
athlete
was
were
I
you?
was a I was a Division I football player at Arkansas State University. So
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay,
we played against your Georgias, your Alabamas, your
okay.
Auburn.
That
So
boy,
yeah.
yo,
And yes, I did start. I did start my junior and senior year. It's just for y'all to be like, oh, he ain't get no playing time. Yes, I did.
what role? What role?
I was a corner. I played defense. Yes, sir.
Okay, that boy got the fast feet. He the Dion. Dion said, yeah, you got to, you had to watch your feet, boy. Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
man.
Yes,
That's what's
sir.
up, man. That's that clicks for me because every single athlete, I mean, even when I got a shout out now, Ifani, like he was
Yeah.
uh
Track lead.
track Olympics, right? It's just the mindset. A couple people I know just came through. It's like, yo, a couple track stars as well. It's like, yo, man, we got to do it. That's just what it is. I've been here before. They said the same thing. I've been here before.
Been here before. I'm telling you, it's just the way we wired, man. It's because people they see confidence and it exudes as arrogance, but it's like preparation breeds confidence. That's why I can act and behave the way that I do and carry
Ooh,
myself the way that I do because
hold on,
I
say it
prepare.
again.
Yeah, I prepare.
Ah,
Preparation breeds confidence.
yes.
You can't be confident if you ain't prepared. If that's arrogance because you ain't prepared. That's what arrogance is. No,
Yeah, man.
we just confident.
You know what's crazy? Just off topic, real quick. Well, same topic, but off of what we talking about. I talked to my mom today, and she was like, "Hey, I got a interview at such and such, second one, and I've been worried about it.
Mm.
I've been losing a little sleep, and I'm like, are you prepping? It's this. Hey, listen, this is God honest truth. This is today. I was like, are you prepping? She's like, well, I don't really know too much about." The role that they telling me that they want to interview me for the second role, because they switched it on her. She said, I
Mm,
don't know too much about it and too much about the company because the company is new. They just opened in the area she's in.
mm,
And I was like, hey, it's a thing called ChatGPT that probably can just, you can ask it about the role, ask it about the company, and just give you ways to be prepared. I said, because that's why you feeling the way you feeling, because you're not
you're
prepared.
not prepared.
You're
Right.
not prepared. You know what I'm saying? And I want everyone, matter of fact, put your hands up in the chat if on this journey, like you've had some interviews and you just been super scared. Like, and it's okay. It's definitely okay to feel nervous. Put your hands up in the chat. I want to see how many people that we have that just felt that type of way. And just like Jeremy said, the way you get around that is just you continue to crush and be prepared. So think about it from this standpoint. The average person, study shows the average person who has an interview only prepares 30 to 45 minutes for this interview. That is it. That is all. If you are preparing only 30 to 45 minutes for an interview or interview process, and you got somebody who's preparing every single day, researching, going to GitHub, finding blogs and forums about the company, looking at the company culture page, learning high level design on how the company operates. I'm not going to say you're not going to get the job. What I'm going to say is that person is going to come more confident and prepared than you and has a higher chance of landing this than you because you haven't done anything. Thank y'all. I know we got a delay, but yeah, somebody said had an interview last year, got scared and nervous, bombed the interview. Was it because you didn't prepare enough? Do you think? Right? And sometimes, the nerves get the best of us where
Mm.
we typically sabotage our own self without and we don't move forward. Or we say, I don't know how to move forward because we're so scared of making a mistake. But make those mistakes now so when you get on the field, you're not making those mistakes. Right?
Sir.
It's second nature to you. All right. So with many people, they struggle when they were not feeling ready for opportunities. What specific skills and knowledge did you focus on to really build your confidence?
Whew. Is this the part where we talk about the interview process?
Well, let's talk about like, on your journey, right? What was
Okay.
your process to like if you came across something that you wasn't completely confident about? What
Mm.
was the process that you used to really learn that thing and bake it so you could be confident in moving on to the
Okay,
next
I
step?
got you. All right, so I'm gonna share some secrets. I'm kind of weird this way. All right, but I'm telling y'all it works. So I'm gonna take just let's take Lewitt's curriculum for instance. Before I even joined the program and started learning a lick of cloud, I went to the syllabus on the website of things that they say that they cover in the program. I went straight to YouTube University and I locked in. Me personally, I always try to get ahead of the curve so when it's actually time to start learning something, I'm not seeing it for the first time. That
Mm,
way, when I'm going through the program, I can say, "Oh yeah, such and such did say that on YouTube. Oh yeah, I saw that on that video that I oh, that was on that Reddit forum right there. Okay, okay. I obviously don't know everything about it, but I felt like just those baby steps in between my sprinting strides got me a lot further than normal, than usual, because I'm not seeing it for the first time. And so I'm picking it up a lot faster. It's like, I'm hearing it 2, 3 times already. And I'm a YouTube guy. I binge a lot of YouTube. So much YouTube, man. I try to get ahead as much as I possibly can before I get into the meat potatoes. So that's just one of my strategies that I do.
nah, that's a great strategy, man, because a lot of people don't do that, right? So, I mean, they wait for the shot. Even when even when you apply to a role, and this is a lot of people, they apply to a role, they just look at the job description and they look for the skills that they have. Oh, I know about this, I know about that, I know about this, and then they apply. They don't even know what the roles, but they don't even look at what they're going to do. They look at the skills you're supposed to have.
Mm.
Look at what the company wants you to do from a day to day, right? So when they get into an interview, they don't prepare that much. They get into an interview and they get asked questions. Guess what? They seeing it or hearing it for the first
For
time.
the first time.
For the first time. So now
And
they're like,
that's
um,
yeah,
so what happened was, see, you can't be all of that in the interview. You got to be prepared.
exactly.
Everything that man's telling y'all right now is preparation. Before he even started the program, he looked at keywords of what we were going to train him and went to YouTube and started just preparing to get acclimated to it. Okay, this is what that is. So
Mhm.
when I really start doing the work, I'm not, you know, I'm not in shock. I'm
Yeah, I'm
not
not
still
that's
shocked.
exactly, that's the word. Because to really piggyback off of that, broad, it's just like, you if you take this strategy right here, right? And then there's another thing that I do on top of it is where I'll teach, or I'll, like I said, I'm weird like this, but sometimes when I learn a new topic, I'll go to the mirror and talk to the mirror as if I'm teaching like a lecture or I'm teaching somebody, because that reinforces the knowledge in my head. I remember when I was interviewing for my first ever IT role, I would drive to my other job every single morning and I would talk to myself in the car and interview myself in the car and answer my own questions. So that way, when I got in the interview, it was natural. I wasn't, looking everywhere else. It just flowed. And so on top of the preparation is, a lot of y'all be ready. A lot of y'all do be ready. But the issue is you don't feel comfortable. So it's not natural. And when
Mm,
you're not in your A game when it's not natural. And so a lot of y'all do be ready for these roles, but you're not comfortable. And that's the
mm,
problem. So get
mm,
comfortable.
mm. Yo, what you're saying, and you keep saying, I know it might be weird. It ain't weird because you're literally becoming the person you need to become in order to step into the role. And you are doing it so much that it may look weird to other people. So similar to what you just said, right? This is similar to a kid picking up a football in the yard and acting like he in an NFL game. Same thing, right? Same thing as a kid picking up a basketball in the driveway. Jordan, Kobe, oh,
Kobe,
that's the same thing. You have to see it, right? Because you believe it, you gotta put yourself in those moments. That's what you're doing.
mentally.
And that's the gym. Hey, listen, if this is already valuable for y'all, put the gyms in the chat. I want to make sure that we giving y'all some value here because for me, I think this is groundbreaking understanding of how you should be prepping. You should be prepping to the point where you're looking crazy. If you want the opportunity more than you wanted anything else in your life because you know that's going to change your life, why aren't we doing things that are outside the normal? You see what I'm saying? Let me get this. Let me get this question real quick. Any recommendations on prep we can do before starting the program, either YouTube or anywhere else? So I assume since it came up as LinkedIn user, this might be a person that's starting the program. I'm not sure. Anywhere you got documentation, you got
Mm.
LinkedIn, you got Discord, you got so many communities. We have a Cloud Career Kickstarter community. You got so many communities you could just go into and just dive into it. The thing that you need to understand is this: don't be scared. There's nothing that's going to happen to you, but you're getting stronger. So a little story with me is like more recently, I wanted to just continue to build my skills and start thinking high level, high performance, thinking of things that and thinking in ways I've never thought of before as far as systems design, scalability, fault tolerance, how to build these type of systems that, you may see like companies like Netflix and, even X or even Slack, or Reddit, all these companies build. So what I started doing just really every single day, I started just pulling. So let me rewind this back. I'm gonna give y'all a hack, a gem. If you are, or if you want to work for a certain company, or if you are interviewing for a certain with a certain company, all you have to do for the most part is put that company's name and then GitHub repo in Google. And most likely you will find a GitHub repo that their software engineers, the DevOps engineers, and everything, a public repo that they push to that gives you exposure to a lot of their internal services that they use. And you can start building these things on a smaller level to get to understand how they're using those services and learn those services. So that's a hack. So if you're interviewing right now at Netflix, or if you're interviewing at Slack, all you have to do is enter Netflix GitHub repo, enter Slack GitHub repo, and you can pull a lot of repositories with a lot of different services that people have committed to, that you can learn more about their services and the infrastructure and code that they use. So for me, every single day, I go startup, whatever, I pull some things that they can actually deploy in production, and I sit down and I learn how it works. I learn what it does, and I try to deploy it. If I can't get it to deploy, then I can understand, and I use AI a little bit to see why, why was I failing? And that way I absorb that and I learn from a system design standpoint, from even when you fail, right? You get those errors. That's deep knowledge, because a lot of people may not have gone through what you've gone through in that era to be able to fix it. So that's something that I want to tell y'all. Just stop being scared, right? To just grab something you never seen before and start working on it, because at the end, when you get done, you be like, yo, I learned a whole lot. And then you can have those conversations that you never thought you can have. And that could be 24 hours earlier that you didn't think you could have it. That's the crazy thing. So sorry if I'm talking too much, y'all. I just want to give y'all the gem that I normally use. Once again, if you want to work for a certain company, or if you're interviewing for a certain company, type their name, type GitHub repo. Sometimes you might find a repo that hasn't been committed to for 5 years. Sometimes you just get that, but typically you'll find a repo that's been recently committed to, or more repos that's been recently committed to, and you can look at those technologies that they're really focusing on. All right, so put a gem in the chat if that was gems. That was valuable for y'all. All right, so back to you, Jeremy. Sorry, man, I just had to get that out of my system real quick, bro. I
Good, good.
apologize. What projects or hands-on work help you stand out in your hiring process at AWS right now?
Uh, I th- I'm gonna go ahead and say this now. It was most likely any projects that had to do with Linux.
Mm.
My f- my first CI/CD project. So and then probably my first Terraform project, and I think those really helped me because anytime you go look at a job posting, like you obviously need to understand operating systems. That's a given, right? Can if we're looking for DevOps, which is like I said, I wanted to build, so CI/CD was actually one of my favorite things that we worked on, so that really stood out to me. And then infrastructure as code is really huge, so those were top of my list right there. Yeah.
No, that's dope, man. Yeah, especially I think Linux is definitely huge in support roles, for sure. That they want you to be super strong in that. And for the most part, just correct me if I'm wrong,
Mhm.
right? You don't feel like an expert in those things, right?
No.
All right.
Not even close. Not even close, man.
So with that, what they seen in you probably was the confidence of like, yo, I know this, but if it's something that I don't know, I'm on top of it.
Yes, sir. And it's funny you say that because it's a lot of stuff that I had to go back and brush up on, right? When I was going through the interview themselves, I made sure that if I came to anything that I didn't necessarily have great understanding, I would always end it with, I'm not really sure about that, but I can go find out. And the interviewer is just
Mm,
like, oh, I like that. But I would always reassure them that, hey, I might not know, but I can go find out.
mm. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear the confidence of like, are you willing and passionate about learning? You know, we're high performance here. We're not saying that you have to know everything, but we want somebody that says, hey, I'm so grateful and happy and passionate to get up to speed with this thing because I want to be able to solve problems and continue to train my mind to get better and better and better. Because when you solve a problem in tech, there's always 1,000 different ways to solve it and make it better. So a lot of companies give you the autonomy to and the responsibility to take this thing on and do your best with it. So they'll give you everything you want to be able to do your job efficiently because they want to make sure you are creating impact. So with this role, you're just going to be sharp as a tack, man. The next few months, you're going to come out and be like, yo,
Hey, I found that out during the interview process real quick that they wasn't lying when they say they hire the best. I said, I understand it now.
yeah, you understand
I
it.
understand it now.
And don't let that get in the way of y'all applying to big companies like this because I promise you, you are one of the best as well. Right now, you probably just don't think you are, right? And you can be working with the brightest minds in the world. And guess what? You could become brilliant just like them because you can soak up all that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like, yeah, Jeremy being a corner and then he has to go work with Deion Sanders. He probably gonna be like, oh, all right, yeah. But it's gonna be exciting as well. But guess what? The knowledge in the game he's gonna be able to soak up from Prime is gonna help take his career to another level faster than someone, you know what I'm saying, who hasn't worked with Prime. When you work with the best, you get to that extraordinary status very quickly because they share frameworks, they share processes, they share knowledge that gets you thinking in a totally different way. The way you thought you was gonna solve it is not the way they solve it. And you're like, oh
And then
wow,
it'd be better. It'd be better how they do it too.
it'd be better.
It'd
And
be
you like,
better.
man, like, hold up, what? This, that, it's just crazy. So this is for y'all to just really understand. Like, if you come in here with a frame of mind right now, like, man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I want you to reframe your mind and walk away with a new frame of I'm just going to do. I'm just going to work and I'm just going to get better every single day.
Yes, sir. Don't even worry about the results. Just
Don't even
put your just put don't even worry about the outcome. Just put your head down. It'll
put
get
your
there.
head down. And when you lift it up, even if it's a couple of weeks, you'll be like, yo, I know a shit ton. I got exposed to a lot of different, it's all about thinking differently. And excuse me if I can't pronounce your name. Osman Osman or Usman said environment matters. Environment matters. And I don't know, Usman, if you're talking about just from a living perspective where you live, but also like your environment, like internal, like in your house, it matters. Like where you do your work it matters. You see what I'm saying? Energy matters. All of
Your
this
circle.
help you concentrate. All of that matters. If you come in the house and your house is just your room you work in is just filthy. You got stuff laying there where you got chips and snacks and stuff you ain't picked up after yourself. You're that clutterness just shows your mind is just clutter. You're not thinking freely the way you're supposed to be. You might be great at your job, right? But imagine if you just clean up the environment and just kind of like got that good energy in. Imagine what you could do then. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad somebody understands.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Make you feel like you got your life together when you make your bed up.
absolutely, man. Absolutely. So let me ask you this question. How did you tailor your resume and LinkedIn to showcase your transition effectively when you was going for the AWS role?
Okay. Yeah. So a lot of people don't know this because I don't have it on my LinkedIn profile anymore. But I actually I was an IT recruiter for 6 months, but before I even got my QA role. So
Didn't know
I
that.
yeah, I took that job to kind of find out what I wanted to do in IT, but also I thought it would be a great idea to kind of learn some of the ropes as to what recruiters look for and what's most important to them. And I just took that with me. That's how I landed my first QA role. That's how, so really I just took what I learned from there and just applied it simply. But I mean, really, formatting, you want to have a nice, clean, simple format, something that whenever the recruiter pulls up your resume, their eyes can go to where it needs to go ASAP, right? You don't have to have all 10 years of your experience, lined up, making your resume 2-3 pages, because they're not gonna look at that. I would say just really just last maybe 3-4 years, because you don't want it to get too scrambled up, because there's a lot of things that's not relevant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you also want to have those key technologies and skills listed in your resume. Because I'll be honest, I've never tailored my resume individually for a ton of different roles. To me, I just felt like that was too time consuming. I don't have that kind of time. So what I did was I tried to create a well-rounded resume that was simple, had all the keywords in it that I needed, all the technologies that I had touched, right? Because they're gonna ask you about them. Don't put nothing up in there that you ain't done before, because they will ask you about it, right? And I just kept it simple. I had all my links up top, right? They knew exactly what it was. I took out my little professional bio. That's a personal preference, but to me, that didn't really matter, because if they wanted to know, they'd ask me. I want you to see my education, my skills, my experience. Boom. Call me if you need me.
Yeah, that's dope. Simplicity. And I would say too, add some outcomes, right? So like
Mhm.
you working with a technology, how did it impact what you were doing?
Yeah, metrics would help.
Yep.
I didn't necessarily need it for this role particularly, but yeah, like Broadus is saying, some metrics, some data points, some achievements. If you're working with numbers or money, or some kind of KPI, you definitely want to throw that up in there.
Yep. And for those who really asking themselves in this, because we talked about this before the live. I wanted to ask you now, right? And I know a lot of people are probably asking themselves this question as well. What was the job search like for you, right? And how many how many applications did you send before getting tracked?
Oh man. I don't know the exact number, but there was at one point where I got to a point where I was just praying, spraying and praying, right? I would say if I had to put a number on it, I would say I probably shot out maybe 160, 170, something like that. So not anything crazy, but um when I first started applying, I wasn't spraying and praying. I was actually trying to be strategic with it. If anything said like over 5 years, I'm not even gonna waste my time. If it was a tech stack that was completely foreign to me, wasn't gonna touch it. So you know, I I had the numbers game in mind, but at the same time, there's always a way to do it. I can't tell you exactly how it would work for you, but that's the way that I did it. So yeah, and what's funny about it is a lot of the interviews that I got didn't even come from me applying. It came from recruiters reaching out to me. So I went through like
So you
before.
attracted the
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
that
So
yeah.
what's funny is I was attracting recruiters more than I was landing interviews by applying. So
Why
that's
you
how I
think that is?
because if you want, we can go there. Because I do want to share
We
this.
just keep it there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
just
Yeah.
want to get the
So
value.
here's the deal, y'all. I connect with a lot of people who want to do a lot of things in their life, and a lot of them don't have profile pictures. A lot of their profile says haven't posted yet. Nobody knows what you're trying to do. They don't know you. They can't come to your profile and see exactly what my man's in the chat said, your personal brand. And so there was actually a point in Lewitt. It was about month 6, month 7, right? Stamina. It's getting weary, right? It's a long journey, right? And I will be honest, it was some days, y'all, I didn't even want to show up. It was some days I just didn't really feel like I was like, I do it. Like, I don't really want to do it right now. But at the same time, I was like, nah, but I gotta do it. First of all, I paid all that money.
Yeah,
Second of
right.
all,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, the end goal is gonna be so I'm gonna forget all about this when I make it. That was my mindset. And so
Mm.
it was a point in time where life was lifing, right? It's all right, y'all. Life do be life, and sometimes just make sure you stay in it. Don't lay down too long. Just stay in it, right? And there was a point where I wasn't that active with posting my projects or that active on LinkedIn. But then I saw Ifani post something one day, and it convicted me. It was a post. It said something like this. It said, "Oh, so you want to be a cloud engineer, but you don't do X, Y, Z." And I was like, bro, just say my name next time. Next time you make a post, just say my name. So from that day forward, I vowed that I was going to be way more active on LinkedIn and increase my LinkedIn presence, right? It didn't matter. I could be talking about nothing, right? It got to the point where when I wasn't even working on projects to post, I would go learn about two adjacent tools that most people get confused and write an article about it to help people distinguish between the two and post about it
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to have some kind of activity, right? I would go, coffee chats, right? We got Nicholas in the chat. I spoke to Nicholas, right? Kenneth, I spoke to Kenneth, right? So it was all about that personal brand. And I just had to increase my presence because as an IT recruiter, which I don't know, is I used to have back end LinkedIn access. We got back end tools that we could see. That's true, y'all. When you search keywords for a certain role that you're hiring, right? If you're active and you're getting impressions and people are engaging with your stuff a lot, your name is usually going to be the first five to pop up for those keywords if you have them in your profile.
Mm.
So to me personally, I believe that was how recruiters were able to find me and reach me is because my engagement was up and I had all the keywords that they were looking for in my profile. I made it easy for them, Yeah.
Yo, personal brand is by far one of the most important things in your career, if not the most important thing, because to be honest with you, I feel like a person could lack some of the skills needed,
Mm.
but their brand is so strong and what they represent is the conviction of I'm going to keep learning and keep getting better, that a company will see that and be like, yo, this is exactly who we're looking for. That
Yeah.
person doesn't have all the things we want, but that person has the confidence and the grit to get the job done. And I'm confident if we hire this type of person, even if they don't know something, they're going to go out and learn it and become the subject matter expert on it.
Exactly. I mean, and that's how IT works, y'all. Like, I know it looks all glitz and glamour, and like the smartest engineers that you encounter, you think they know everything. Not even they know everything. They just know a lot more than you. That's it. But yeah.
And another thing too with brilliant minds too, like you could be working at a FANG company and you like, yo, this person created a startup. This person works here, and now this person is just super brilliant. They created this tool that we use now. The crazy thing about it, a lot of those brilliant people are not great at communicating or great at branding themselves as well. So you have that one up where you can be strong in how you brand yourself, and you may not be as smart as them right now, but your communication and the way you brand yourself can let a company understand, even if you're going for this role and they say, well, this role may not be right, but we got this role that we
Mm,
think this person is amazing for. And that's how you create the impact for the companies that you want to work for. I was talking to a friend Saturday, and he dropped some things that was pretty profound. It may be simple to y'all, but he was like, this is what I tell people, bro. This like he said, you can be in the right place at the right time, and that's okay. And you can be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and that's okay too. Because if you keep believing and you keep doing what you're supposed to do, even if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you will increase your odds and your chances of being at the right place at the right time. And I was like, yo, just breaking it down that simple,
mm.
right? Even if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time right now and you getting no's and you're frustrated, keep going because you increase your chances of being at the right place at the right time. And what Jeremy said maybe 10 minutes ago, this is what I always tell people. And when that opportunity comes and you get it, all that shit that you just went through, excuse my language, y'all, all that doesn't even matter
It don't
anymore.
matter. You forget about it.
You forget about it. It don't even matter that you took 18 months to get this role. Don't even matter that you took 10 months to get this role. It doesn't even matter that you got 75 no's in your inbox. It don't matter.
Yes,
Put
sir.
your put your hands up in the chat if you feel like that. Like sometimes I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like I'm gotten no's. I feel like I can't understand this thing. I feel like sometimes the projects just don't work the way it's supposed to. Put your hands up if you ever feel that way. Like I've been trying to transition right now, and it's just really feeling overwhelming to me. It's okay. Put your hands up. I just want to see. It's
Yes,
okay.
sir. It's natural.
Even even if you're at this moment where you don't want to be, by you continuing to just move and not give up and invest in yourself and invest the time and invest the strategy and just learn, you're going to put yourself in a better chance to be in the right place at the right time. And
Yes,
thankfully,
sir.
and when it comes, it doesn't even matter when you become successful in doing it. Nothing that you went through will matter.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Um, So let me ask you this, because I'm bouncing back and forth with you and preaching. That's why I guess I call it. What were, if you can remember, what were some of the toughest interview questions that you got, and how did you prepare for them?
Okay. Hmm. So let me just throw a number out there. So before I even interviewed for AWS, I had already had like 5 other interviews that didn't turn out obviously the way that I wanted to. But
Okay.
um, some of the some of the harder things that was coming up in some of these interviews was networking, um, containerization, and then Windows environments. I don't know why
Mm,
companies kept bringing up Windows environments, but from I'm a Mac guy,
I'm a
so
Mac.
I was
I
like,
don't
dang,
even.
like
When you talk about Windows, nah, we can't do
yeah,
that.
yeah. So it's like it's a lot of times they'll say, well, we just kind of want to hear your experience and things like that. They'll say like it might not be the deciding factor, but I know it can be, and it's like when you run into those kind of things, it's like, dang, I didn't think of preparing for that, and so um, you know, lo and behold, if the interview doesn't happen the way that you want it to happen, it's back to the drawing board, right? So every time it didn't go the way that I wanted to, the things that I did not feel the most confident, I go brush up on those real quick. So the next time when it happened, I got you. So, um, and it wasn't like it was just crazy, astronomically difficult. It was just, well, that's not really an area that I kind of touched on, or I'm not really
Right.
familiar with that. So let me get back to you on that. But yeah,
So
it's kind of hard to like Broadus was saying, my mindset, because somebody in the chat put attitude, and I kind of want to pick it back on that real quick because I read a book by John C. Maxwell called Attitude 101, right?
so you probably going right in with what I was about to ask you. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
so
I'm about to
so
ask you the question. You going in?
Attitude 101, and it's all about how you look at it, not necessarily the end goal, like the result, right? And that's why I said earlier, just put your head down and go to work and don't worry about the outcome because you have the blueprint.
Mm,
Just work. The blueprint is proven to work. Just work the blueprint. Lo and behold, if it's for you, it will happen. If you don't land the job at the company you applied for, it's because you're not supposed to be there at that particular time. That's how I
absolutely.
look at it.
Yeah.
Anytime I got a interview and it didn't go the way that I wanted to, it just mean that, oh, God don't necessarily want me there right now, or he got something else for me. And I
Yep.
kept it pushing.
Yep. Yep. No, that's exact, bro. Like, if y'all don't listen to anything else, right? Because anyone can learn the tech, okay? Like, anyone can learn everything about cloud computing. Not everyone can push through and position their mindset to the point where they're like, I'm just gonna put my head down and I'm gonna keep increasing my chances of being in the right place at the right time. Because people take the roadblocks they have, the project roadblocks, the project failures, the certification failures, all of that. And they say, you know what, this is too much for me. I quit. But what they have to understand, what you have to understand is everything, all the roadblocks that you're going through right now is the exact thing that you need to make you into the engineer that you want to be. And some people think, oh, I'm just gonna get it in the next 60 days. And then they realize the work they got to put in, and they were like, oh,
Mm,
I don't want it that bad. I just wanted to work from home.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted a remote job. I ain't really want to be in tech, y'all.
Yeah,
So for those of you who really want it, you have to just pay your dues and show that you want it. That's it. That's the name of the game.
that's the formula. Before you shift gears on that, let me say this real quick, because I get a lot of people that come to me asking about, the process. And I've always saw it the same, because it's exactly how I went from personal training to where I am right now. Obviously, God, but the people who don't necessarily make it, again, life be happening, but people don't make it because they don't have the right mindset. They obviously got into the program because they wanted change, right? They wanted something different. Maybe it was financial reasons, or maybe it was, growth, which means that they wanted to leave something else. So in my mind, if you don't make it to the end outside of uncontrollable circumstances, you obviously don't hate where you are enough right now. Because if you did, I promise you, mark my words and say, Jeremy Smith said this. If you hate where you are enough, you will make something happen. You will.
Mm,
It's undeniable. If you
mm,
hate it that much, I promise you, you're gonna make something shake. You ain't gotta think.
mm,
You don't even have to think about it, because you hate
mm,
it that much.
mm.
Come on
Yo,
now.
I wish I had the flex bombs. I wish I had the Funk Master flex bombs to just drop right now because, bro, like what you touched on is a topic that I just want people to see. Like, even on that, with people who don't hate their situation enough to push through, you have another class of people who stay here. And this is where I'm trying to get y'all to see the frame of mind that some people have. And if you have that frame of mind, let's reframe and leave this live with a new frame. All right. Some of you right now want a better opportunity and want to be in tech, but you don't really believe that you can do this, right? You don't think that you're smart enough. You don't think that you're good enough. You don't think that you can hang with all the tech geniuses that are out here working. So, what you do is you say to yourself, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. Or you say, let me do my research first and let me look and talk to people and all of this. And that's great to do your due diligence. But what you have in your mind is this: you want someone to align with how you already feel about it. So, meaning if you already feel like you can't do it, if you already feel like working in tech and making this type of money is too good to be true, and you're just not going to be able to be successful, you can pass up 20 people who have been successful doing this thing. And that one person that tell you, man, tech saturated, man, I wouldn't even mess with it, bro. I done put in 20 applications on and got turned down, man. You know what? He right. Tech is saturated. That's exactly how I feel. It's too good to be true. Ain't everybody landing these type of roles? I'm going back to X, whatever your job is,
Mm.
right? Or you'll say, let me try this thing. And, I know I am not going to be able to do it, but let me just try and see. And then you got to take a little funky certification and then you fail. See, I told you. See, I ain't even good enough. I'm going back to my whatever job that is. And you have to change that mindset. You have to come in, and this is the thing we're reiterating over and over again. You have to come in, put your head down, and say, I'm just going to get better until my opportunity comes. Whether that's 6 months, whether that's 8 months, whether that's 12
Mhm.
months, whether that's 18 months. But guess what? When you get the opportunity and you finally become successful and landed it, all these things that you've been through are not going to matter. All the questions you asked yourself before you started, all the anxiety that you had before you started is not going to matter. I'm going to scare you a little bit real quick. What's going to matter now is you got a new set of anxieties of
Yep.
you,
But this
of
one is
you being able to
excitement,
do the
though.
job, right?
Excitement. Yeah. I'm
But
excited though.
yeah, the exciting,
I'm good.
but that's just imposter syndrome because you're going to find when you get into those roles, you're going to find that there's people that working in those roles that don't know what you know. And
Mm.
you're like, bro, or sis, I just got here. So like, how you not know this? And I know this. And you're gonna look at people and say, "How did you get this job?" And then you'll feel better. You like, wow, this people, it's people all over in a different. They're in a different journeys in tech, right? And some people are in roles that they may not, supposed to be in at that moment. But you need to just take the opportunity to learn from them what to do and what not to do, right? If you see their bad habits, know that you can't have those bad habits. All right. So I just want to just put that into your mindset, reframe your mind, and hopefully you walk out here with a new frame. Um, I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions, big dog, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, what do hiring managers really look for in candidates transitioning to AWS Cloud Support? What do you think?
Okay, so funny enough, and they actually say this in the job description, but you actually don't even need to have touched cloud before to be an AWS cloud support engineer. What they do, however, look for is networking. Do you have a good understanding of networking? Do you know how the internet works? Monitoring, right? So troubleshooting is the biggest, one of the biggest aspects, and then the soft skills to be able to speak to those. Because if you're, supporting clients, you're gonna have to be able to communicate with them as well as to, what the issue may be. But troubleshooting, networking, OS, and
Mm.
soft skills. Those are the heavy hitters. You gotta understand how the internet works. You must know how the internet works.
And this is for the support role he just landed, y'all. So he just went through this. So he's giving y'all the freshest gems that he can give
Yeah,
y'all. He landed
it
the
was
role.
heavy
That man
process.
at AWS now. He getting them dollars, okay? So,
Yeah.
so last question. What is your biggest piece of advice for someone feeling stuck and unsure about taking the next step?
I would say if you're unsure, there's two things you could do. You can either seek out mentorship, right? You find somebody who has maybe went the route that you're trying to go, or they have the end result that you want, right? I was speaking about this earlier when when I was reaching out in the first boot camp that I went through. I wanted to talk to the people who not only went through the boot camp, but who also landed the job. Those are the people that you want to talk to because they landed a job for a reason.
Mm,
There's plenty of people that go through these boot camps thinking that just going through it is enough. I'm here to tell you, I've done it twice. It ain't. There's other things that you have to do outside of it to get a role. To me personally, mentorship is so huge. I cannot stress it enough. Mentorship is so huge, man. It could be the person next to you, right? We was talking about Ifani. Shout out Ifani.
mm,
As y'all know, Ifani's at AWS. I don't think I would have ever landed the AWS cloud support role if it wasn't for Ifani. When I got the LinkedIn message from the AWS recruiter, because they came to me, I didn't go to them. Uh, I went straight to those who I knew already had a cloud role, and then I went to those who already work at AWS, and Ifani was one of them. And I told Ifani was lit about it. He started steering me in the right direction for some, preparation. The recruiters do a great job at trying to get you, prepared and everything like that. But there was just other things outside of it.
gave you
And
the
that
edge.
mentor, man, it gave me the edge because when I was doing research on Glassdoor and Reddit, and you go to these profiles and you see the people who talk about their interview experience, and you see how many people don't actually get the offer, and it's scary. You read about it, you're like, dang, this person seems like they know what they're talking about, and they didn't even get an offer. There was things that I was doing, things that I brought to the table that did allow me to get the offer. So I never really had to worry about that. So mentorship, I'm pretty sure a lot of them didn't have a mentor going in. I did. That gave me a leg up over them automatically. Preparation. Hey, it was a long journey. The interview process at one of the big dog companies is like 6-7 weeks. So get your mind right, right?
Yeah.
And you take one day off. You can't afford to take a day off when you're preparing for these kind of interviews, right? So mentorship is huge, y'all. It's huge. So find somebody who has done what you're trying to do. Speak to them. Pick their brain. They
Mhm.
might give you some insight. It's invaluable. The second thing that I would say is if you're feeling unsure, I just want you to just take a seat, take a deep breath. I really want you to just look at your circumstances. The only reason why you're even having these thoughts of change is because you want change. And nothing's going to change unless you actually make something happen. And nobody's going to do it for you, right? And like we said earlier, if you don't make it, just means you don't hate it enough, right? If you go back to where you came from, it just means you actually didn't hate it enough. And that's all right, because it might not be your time right now, right? But I promise you, you're gonna keep seeing it. You're gonna keep seeing people land the jobs that you want to have. You're gonna keep seeing people, post the success stories, and you're gonna think to yourself, "Dang, if I would have just started 6 months ago, I could have been at this point." Or, "Dang, if I would have just chopped it up with so and so, I probably could have." So, moral of the story: if you desire change, make it happen, because ain't
Yep.
nobody else gonna do it for you.
If you
Nobody's
desire
gonna do
change,
it for you.
yep. Yo, like become the person you need to become in order to land the opportunities that you need to
Up
land.
here first. Yes, sir. This is where it's got to happen first. I was an AWS Cloud Support engineer before I even got the job.
Yep. That man was telling you any interviews he had, he was just talking to himself, asking questions in the interview and then answering them. Like that's how obsessed about changing you have to be. You understand? Like you have to already know you have it, and you have to already know you have it because you are the person. You are a cloud engineer. You do this every day. I put myself through the ringer every day so I can understand how to solve problems and how to build systems, etc. All right. So listen, man. I really appreciate you just dropping by and sharing your insight, Jeremy. I mean, it was, man, super fun to just learn more about you and the mindset that you got these people leaving with tonight is just it's priceless, man. Money can't buy this type of mindset, and you gotta remind yourself every now and then. Like if you forget who you are, just come back and just listen to what Jeremy said, and even some gems that I dropped, and just remind yourself of who you are and what you need to do. Um, with that being said, if you're a person who, you just want to understand, really how to push yourself and gain the experience you need to become a cloud engineer. If you're looking to build more value to your skill set, if you're looking to just really understand who you need to become to get the job done, and you've been doing this for yourself for a while, I'm gonna put a link in the comments of this live event. Matter of fact, look for it in the next 2 minutes. I want to invite you just schedule a call, talk to me and my team to see if there's a way that we can help you get out of your current situation, whether it's a job you don't like or whether it's a tech role that you just want to grow out of. See if there's a way that we can help you be successful with your goals. All right, so I'm gonna put a link in um, the live event chat or the live event comment section. So take a look at that. Or if you want me to reach out to you personally, just drop a LU in the chat as well. Once I see that, I'll reach out. But Jeremy, man, thank you so much, bro, for like just sharing your journey, man. Congratulations once again. Everybody give this man a huge hand clap for landing that AWS cloud support role. And man, we wish you nothing but success, bro. We know you're gonna kill it. I know within the next year you're gonna be out of that role into something else, something more bigger with AWS, bro. So
Hey,
man, God bless you, man. Just keep, keep hitting the pavement, keeping your head down, and just getting better. You got the right support group around you anyway.
yes, sir. Praise God, man. I appreciate you for having me. Hey, man, y'all can do it, man. Hey, it's possible. It's
Absolutely.
possible.
Absolutely. You can live your dream in the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, whatever it is. Just start today. All right. So that's all. Change your mindset. I'm going to start today and I'm not going to stop until I get what I want out of this career. That's all. All right. So thank y'all again. Let's keep leveling up. All right. Love y'all. See y'all later.